Cool.
Okay, shit.
And for those on YouTube, now recording. I think I mentioned this in another Let's Play video, but most of you probably don't watch my other series. Missile Singularity one, which has very few viewers. For anyone on YouTube, I was too focused on what was going on in Mexico. I did mess up my focus order a little bit by suspending the persecution as my second focus. I should have run probably War Department, 2 Ocean Navy Act, and then WPA all before it. Because all I did was lose stability. I was going to have to lose eventually, but there was no reason to lose it so soon. From a mechanical standpoint, that was a poor choice. And I'm going to get my Air Force actually exercising because the air experience is valuable.
I'm gonna look for my destroyers, wherever they are. Oh, there.
You got a fleet
Found
of. It's not just destroyers. It's destroyers and a coastal offense ship. You should set them all to exercises in probably the Gulf Coast or Gulf of Mexico. You could do it in the Mexican coast either, but the Gulf of Mexico should have shorter distances between wherever they are when they have occasional accidents and getting back to port for repairs. So you'll waste less fuel there if you send them to naval exercises in the Gulf of Mexico. And that'll start getting some Navy experience so you can design better ship designs. And speaking of which, you do have a couple ship designs, so you don't need to just do convoys. You could do, you have a destroyer design already. Also, you should assign MIOs to your production of infantry equipment and artillery. It didn't look like you had those assigned to the production. If you click
what was it?
If you open your production tab, the little wrench thing, and next to the production efficiency, there's a little icon. You can assign an MIO to the production. Infantry equipment MIO will allow you to produce a little more equipment each day, and the artillery one will still gain funding from being assigned so that they can start getting trait points eventually. You should always have MIOs assigned to produce.
You mean the military industrial organization?
Yeah, you should always have one of them assigned to production of equipment if there's one available. It's never good to not have any assigned. You're just losing the opportunity to grow that MIO for no reason. So.
Oh, I can make a lot of shit. I can make early destroyers, coastal defense. There's coastal defense ship, early destroyer hull, early submarine hull.
Those watching YouTube, I'm going to create a new version of the Prelude class. Call it Farragut class A2. Distinguish it from the A1. And this, I don't, central range finding has no real business on a destroyer. They have so little main armament. So I'm just going to rip out that to make it a little bit cheaper. I could improve the anti-air guns, but it's not really necessary. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Core, if you set your fleet to naval exercises in the Gulf of Mexico, and you can assign an admiral to it. I think the admirals do reduce supply consumption of fleets. It's not clear which traits affect the supply consumption with the admirals. There isn't no logistics. It might be the coordination skill.
Yeah. I'm currently doing naval exercise.
In the Gulf of Mexico, or where did it have them start doing them? Because you can change the location.
The Gulf of Mexico.
Because, yeah, if you ever get like a naval mission, it's not where you want it to, you can just rebase the ships and they'll go elsewhere. So that's a good thing to know. Anyhow, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, so it looks like you're gonna have Cadilla tensions go to very high, I think, next, and after that, I suspect then you'll end up with a civil war. So you should be prepared. It looks like you might end up with one before long. So, and what's your rule about being able to send volunteers if you hover over your rules on your country page? What does it say, Core? Are you able to send volunteers to other countries?
Oh, let me do that. Country page. What?
Should be if you like click on your flag in the upper left corner, and then there's a rules summary next to the close button. Like, or if you hover over your ideology, that like non-aligned for me, like the base send volunteers is at 50% world tension, but then I also have the great, not the Great Depression, I also have undisturbed isolation, which raises that all the way up to 70% world tension to send volunteers. And Lend-Lease also, Lend-Lease is 100% tension for me, interestingly, until I get rid of undisturbed isolation and take limit interventionism, which should make it easier.
Oh, it doesn't say anything about volunteers.
Should probably be if you hover over your ideology under your leader portrait. Then it'll tell you stuff like generate war goal tension limit, join faction tension limit, and lease tension limit.
Oh, yeah, I see. The generate war goal tension limits 50%.
But the one I'm curious about is sending volunteers, because the Spanish Civil War is probably going to break out soon, and I'm curious if you're able to send volunteers to it. I can't, because it would require much higher world tension for me.
My volunteer tension limit is 40%.
40%?
Yeah.
Yeah, so neither of us can send volunteers yet. So it's just going to be the fascists sending volunteers, and the Soviet Union. So the Civil War is going to tend in favor of the nationalists unless I can get limited intervention soon enough, which probably can't because I need to boost communism support. Let's see if you have anything. Oh, you probably can't even send volunteers until you get the Aztec Eagles or International Peacekeepers anyhow. Or International Struggle. Okay. Yeah, International Struggle is what will allow you to send volunteers sooner. So, that's below Legacy of Revolution and the red shirts. Oh, I also checked pardoning Cristero fighters and assassinating them both give you army experience. They're approximately just mirrored versions of the same thing. So, rewriting the Constitution, though, does give you the ability to attend public mass, which gives you base stability for just some political power in the future. It wasn't bad to get it while the church was assertive, but and so you can strengthen them in the future, transferring lands to them to avoid a second Cristera war. But after you get Confederation of Mexican Workers, right, which get you a bunch of political power, then you probably want to start running Legacy of Revolution, Red Shirts, International Struggle, so you can send volunteers to the Spanish Civil War, because you'll be able to send volunteers. I can't, right?
Here, after Agricultural Credit Bank is done.
Yeah, after it's done, you'll probably want to grab Confederation Mexican Workers for the political power, because that'll help you with running decisions, and then Legacy of Revolution and the Red Shirts, which will weaken the church, replace assertive church with weak church, which will hurt your stability. It'll like bring your stability back to minus. You won't have a stability bonus anymore, but instead you get a factory output bonus, and it'll start getting you communism support, and then you can take international struggle, so you can send volunteers to the Spanish Civil War. It's the quickest way to do it. And it'll take 175 days after you've done Confederation Mexican Workers. Well, that's actually that's a long time. Considering how quick the Spanish Civil War can go. That could be too late to make a difference. Yeah, so after Agricultural Credit Bank, you might just want to grab a Legacy of Revolution then. Just because you really need to get the volunteers in the Spanish Civil War sooner rather than later if you want the Republican side to win, right?
Yeah, so it's Confederation Mexican Workers and Legacy of Revolution.
Yeah, so you probably want to beeline international struggle via the Red Shirts as your next focus, right after the Agricultural Credit Union, Credit Bank, whatever. I mean, it's good that you did anti-disestablishmentarianism earlier, because this is going to weaken the church, and you wouldn't have been able to run it once the church is weakened. An agriculture credit bank is a prereq to Confederation Mexican Workers and rent freeze and the worker militias, which you'll eventually want. So none of that was bad. Legacy of Revolution in itself doesn't do much for you, but Red Shirts will start getting communism support, although that'll hurt your stability so it was, good to run those stuff out of the way first. International struggle will let you send volunteers. By that point, it'll probably be going badly for the Republicans, and the volunteers will really help. So, yeah. And I'm just going to be War Department, 2 Ocean Navy Act, because there's a long lead time on building ships, and then WPA, Agricultural Adjustment Act. Reach out to the WARE group. You can also do U.S.-Soviet economic cooperation at that point to help the Soviet tech, but I'll probably wait till after they have the Civil War, because I think it would help the wrong one. It would help Stalin's side in it. So, yeah. Anyways, so you signed an admiral and got to your fleets, by the way? Like put someone on charge of them?
Not yet, but I can.
Yeah, that would probably be not a bad idea. Um, hmm. So I'm just move around. Some troops. I'm trying to get them hot weather acclimatization and not overburden my supply network as they expand my army, mainly for army experience and exercises right now. Have them all get used to the heat in Texas. Eventually, hopefully they'll be able to be volunteers at some point in the Spanish Civil War or other wars in Latin America. So,
Yeah.
anyways, you got MIOs assigned to your production queues and an admiral on your navy, and you start production
Yeah.
of some destroyers, I'm guessing. And you should also assign an MIO to the destroyer production. Start growing one of them. Naval MIOs.
I can't even make any destroyers. I need steel.
You need what?
I need steel.
Well, you can import some for me if you need steel. I've got tons for sale.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you're good to go, I'll unpause it. Or do you need a moment more?
Moment more. Yeah, Mark.
Hmm? Sorry.
Yeah, how do I import steel?
You go to trade screen. That should be next to your construction queue. And then you'll be able to flip between different resources and set
There we go. That's good.
cool. And I'm just switching, reducing the size of garrison troops in Panama. Because the garrison there was too large, and that hurting my compliance growth. Civilian oversight and local autonomy a bit later. Anyways, so are we good, or do you need a moment more?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, cool. Oh, and there goes the Spanish Civil War. Speak of the devil. Um, ooh, available special project. Oh yeah. I just got my first breakthrough. There's these new special project things for in Galtadamron.
Bases are in low supply in the south. This affecting my naval.
Start working torpedo cruiser designs. Cool. Um, Sorry, what were you saying a second ago? About
My base is in the southwestern low in supply.
your bases in the south? Talking about naval bases? What?
Yeah, naval. It's affecting my.
I think I should go to local autonomy in Panama. Resistance to suppress as long as targets below 10. Cool. Switch up my Navy doctrine so I can try and recruit admirals who are sea wolves. If anyone on YouTube, so all these guys are like level 3, 4, 5. There's a couple 2s. If people are recruited at level 1 and trained up higher levels with Academy Spirits active that can increase their stat points, they're better. I only have one level 2 who's worth trying to train that way. Charles Cook Jr. Their level 2 has cuts corners, which is a pretty bad trait. He's a blockader and
Both of those just got completed.
sorry, what just completed?
Agricultural banks.
Yeah, and then you should probably do Legacy of Revolution, because you're going to need to send volunteers to Spanish Civil War, or the Republican side will definitely lose with all the fascist help. Jeez, they've already lost Bilbao. Oh, they're fought. They've already lost control of the north. What?
So I shouldn't do Confederation of Mexican Workers yet.
No, you should beeline an international struggle, because if you don't send help to the Republican side in the Spanish Civil War, they'll definitely lose. Like, it's not even a question. The Soviets only sent 7 volunteer divisions. It's not even that many. It's going to be rough there. Although it does look like disbanded army. It probably happens automatically if they don't complete the focuses. I don't know. I suspect it's going to go poorly for the Republic if they don't get help. So. All cool there?
Yep.
Sorry, I just heard like it was a noise. Mike, you okay? How are you doing for decisions? You got how much political power do you have saved up?
I have 58 political power saved up.
Not too much. How much are you gaining a day?
Hold on, currently texting someone. I'm getting one political power per day.
All right. Cool. The reason I'm asking is because you probably still want to like be ready to either actually if you rushing your national struggle, you should be able to assassinate Cristero fighters once you get down to Wheat Church from the red shirts, I believe.
Yeah.
So I forget. I think Wheat Church is 2 whole levels of church strength below assertive. So it actually you drop 2 whole levels by taking the red shirts, but it's better than if it dropped 2 levels before and you would have been at I think like atheist state, which would have had sizable stability penalties.
Yeah. There's atheist state, weak church, assertive church, powerful church, and Catholic state.
Didn't you start off as something that was between assertive and weak? I thought there was a level that was between
No,
those two.
no. I
Oh,
started off weak, and
oh,
then I went straight to assertive.
okay. Well, weak is. I think weak it allows you to assassinate Cristero fighters, right? Weak church.
Um, Let me check. Assassin. Let me find out where it is. Hmm. Now I'm not seeing anything about Oh, right here. I can assassinate the Cristero traitor.
Mm-hmm. And what level of church strength does that require? So I was asking.
You need weak church or atheist state.
Okay, so you can do it at weak, and that's essentially the mirror of pardoning them. Has the same effects. So yeah, you can do that until you can strengthen the church back up some with transferring lands in the future.
Yeah.
Whew, it's not looking good for the Spanish Republic.
Yeah, I need to get reconciliation committee again since it just came back. I need more than 10% war support.
I would not do reconciliation committee anymore for the meantime because it'll hurt your war support. and you're gonna. I mean, early on, it's good to push stability a little, but you're gonna need the war support to hire more generals to get your command power income to start going up in the future. And if you have your civil war, it'll help with winning that war too. So yeah,
My command power currently is 25.
yeah, and when you get Legacy of Revolution, your military leader costs go down, and the red shirts will not affect that actually, but excuse me. I think it'll cost you 120 command power to hire a general at the most, and probably less after you do Legacy of Revolution.
Soviets are still sending volunteers over.
Yeah, Soviets sent 7 volunteer divisions to Spain, which isn't nearly enough to turn the tide of the Civil War there. So
The good thing, though, is that they do have a national spirit death before surrender, which gives them plus 100% surrender limit and minimum surrender limit plus 5%.
true,
They also have a disbanded army.
but that's not going to
Which,
stop her from getting crushed, honestly. So
yeah, but it will increase the time it takes for the nationalists to.
it'll just mean that they have to lose almost all their land, but that doesn't matter. Like, wars are not necessarily
They're
won
about to
just by
cut
holding
off.
out forever. You gotta have the men and the material to win, and
Yeah, the nationalists are about to cut them off too.
they're gonna cut off Catalonia. Which, if they lose Catalonia and then the anarchist uprising happens, it happens somewhere else, and it weakens the republic even more. So it's not good. It's not good at all. What's going on? Not that I can do about it, but
Yeah. Um, there's not really any way I could help them right now.
well, when you get to international struggle, you'll be able to send them volunteer divisions, so that'll help a lot.
46 out of 70 days. The international struggle takes 35 days. I also need to get red shirts, which takes another 70 days.
Yep. And then after you do that, you can do Revolutionary Class War and Spanish Civil War refugees, which allow
Yeah,
you to support Spain's loyalists, which give you decisions to support the Spanish left. So,
yeah. So right now we just need to keep Republican Spain alive because
I
so we can
mean,
get their communism support up in the future.
I think of this as a domino effect. The earlier and the more we can help them, the less help we'll have to send them for the win, and the more likely a victory is. A little bit of help early on makes a huge difference. Later on, it's not as good.
Yeah. If we can get Trotsky in here, though, they would. Well, actually, no, Trotsky probably won't do shit because they're
Well,
still Republican.
Trotsky takes over the Soviet Union via civil war, which actually caused the Soviet volunteers to withdraw when that happens. So it's actually going to get worse when their civil war breaks out. And
Govern
Italy
or
just defeated
Yep.
Ethiopia, which means now they're going to send volunteers in the Spanish Civil War as well, because of Ethiopia forming the fascist collaborator state. The government of Ethiopia, which is a Reichsprotectorate of Italy. Like, now Italy will send volunteers to nationalists. It's going to get much, much worse.
Yeah, the German Reich is sending volunteers over to the nationalists.
And they get a spirit which will allow them to send even more. And then the Soviet volunteers will leave. It's going to be really bad. You're definitely going to want to get those volunteers over there, and then get Lend-Lease, which you can send them Lend-Lease once you get support Spain's loyalists. That's
The good thing, though, is that they have carellism, which reduces their defense. Well, it reduces their attack the same amount as the Republicans, but it reduces their defense like 5% more than The Republicans.
I wouldn't put too much stock in that. The best troops in the Spanish army side with the nationalists. And that's only a spirit they have until the Carlists either rise up or, if they're taking their historical path, they merge the parties and avoid the Carlist uprising entirely. I would definitely not put too much stock in that.
Yeah.
It looks like the nationalists have a larger army, and they have more experienced troops, and it's not going to go well for the Republic without a lot of help. Plus, the Italians and Germans are probably going to send air volunteers, which means there's going to be you can't see it on the world tension
Spain
screen. What?
Okay, well, Spain AI is being stupid. One, why are you buying anything from Luxembourg out of all? Luxembourg
is no, that's smart. Not many nations will sell them equipment. They're buying probably like artillery or something. By default, France and the UK won't sell them equipment during their civil war. So if Luxembourg will, that's smart.
But if they cut off Catalana and Barcelona, then they're, unless they have convoys, then I think they're pretty much fucked there.
Well, Luxembourg can only be reached by land, unfortunately, although they can. Oh no, they don't control Gibraltar, so they can't go by the land that way. So yeah, they might, if they can hold the railway into Valencia and Catalonia long enough, they'll be able to. It only takes like a month to get the first delivery, but they need all the equipment they can get.
Yeah, Italy hasn't done nothing yet for the nationalists, nor Ethiopia.
Actually, I can sell some equipment, and they should be able to buy my equipment too. I don't have much, but I have some artillery and support equipment. So,
yeah. And because I'm not aligned to the Republican, they won't accept anything from me.
Well, you just can't send anything because you don't have enough.
Oh crap! My controller
world tension yet. Like you'll be able to do it eventually.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to.
To what?
Send volunteers to Spain. I don't think I'm gonna be able to send volunteers to Spain in time before the Caudillo Rebellion.
Well, your next thing is just very high tensions. It's not the rebellion. I keep telling you, it's a ticking mission. When that thing ends up, you'll have an even worse stability debuff, and then you'll get a tick down to the Civil War. You should be able to send in volunteers before then. If you're doing Legacy of Revolution now, and how long do you have in that?
3 days left.
Yeah, you should be able to send in volunteers before your Civil War. They'll get pulled back when the Civil War breaks out, but all you need is red shirts in international struggle, 105 days. So you should definitely be able to get in volunteers for at least a little while. And just when the Caudillo Rebellion happens, just crush it as fast as you can so you can get back to sending volunteers. Plus, you also, it's not just that. After you get international struggle, you can take revolutionary class war. And then Spanish Civil War refugees support Spain's loyalists, and you can send them equipment, guns, which are just as important as.
Now we're doing the red shirts. Yeah, now I'm doing the red shirts, which just will weaken the church.
And that's fine. I'll help you produce more equipment for,
Yeah, and then plus as soon as I get that done too, I can also assassinate the Cristero traders.
Yeah.
Which will give me more war support. And the +10 army experience. that's good. My oil's going up. Well, my fuel. Make sure my guys are still doing naval. Oh. Well, that's not good.
Hmm?
2 accidents from training.
I mean, those are just going to periodically happen.
Naval.
France is buying some equipment for me. Cool.
Well, it looks like nothing has moved yet. It looks like the Republicans are actually somewhat holding out.
They may have delayed the offensive for now, but don't expect them to be able to hold it indefinitely at this rate.
Nope, they're gonna get crushed. Italy's sending volunteers now to the nationalists with the Germans. Federalist state of... well, Austria is also fascist now, too. Going on in the UK. Italy.
Austria? No, they're not fascist. They're non-aligned. The federal state of Austria. They brought back the Habsburg prince. So.
Yeah.
They're trying to reform the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
I do another anti-democratic raid.
In terms of stability stuff, yeah.
Well, I had like 41% stability anyway, so it's alright.
What?
I did have like 41% stability anyways.
Yeah, you don't want to keep building stability however you can, so. Because it'll serve you well in the long run. And especially because you're going to have to weaken the church in order to support the Spanish Republic, so.
Yeah, and I also did another thing of anti-fascist raids too, so.
Yep. Don't forget about improving worker conditions, though. That's a thing that costs stability, but I mean costs factories, but gives you stability. It's a bigger chunk. It's 100 political power, but it's definitely worth it.
I still don't know though if I banned fascism. I don't.
There's no reason to do that. It'll hurt your stability, and it won't affect the. I mean, I don't think it'll affect the other side in the Civil War, and even if it does, you should be able to crush them if you keep doing the anti-fascist raids. By the way, you started production of a destroyer line, right? But
Yeah.
I was meaning to.
Well,
add.
not.
What?
Well, I was, but not anymore because for some reason one of my naval dockyards are just gone.
That's probably, it's not gone. They're probably repairing ships that had training accidents. And once the repairs are done, they'll get back to constructing the destroyers. But the thing I was going to say about that is you didn't cancel the convoys, right? You just like added a new production line.
Yeah.
All right, good, because it was to say that like whatever progress you had on the convoy you were working on, that way it'll be saved. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I never cancel production on my convoys.
Cool. That's a good habit.
Unless like it's really, really necessary. Like if I absolutely need the dockyard, then sure. That's only if I'm on a serious losing streak.
But yeah, destroyers produce quick, and you only had really an option of producing destroyers or coastal defense ships, which are very expensive. So expanding your navy means more ships that can get you more navy XP from exercises. Like I'm making almost one naval experience a day. In fact, actually with naval reform, I'm making more than one. I'm making like 1.1 naval experience a day just from exercises because I have so many.
So,
but my navy
on
is
the
enormous.
good note,
what?
If I do annex Guatemala, I'll gain 7 chromium out of it.
I mean, it'll also be factories and build slots and population, and it's just land.
And I'm also getting an airport out of that too.
Yeah, and as you expand south, eventually you'll be able to make into South America proper, where there's some real big boys to play with, like Brazil and Chile and Argentina. Just eating up Latin America. That'll turn you eventually into a major power.
What's this looking like? Damn, they're still holding the line.
Yeah, I mean, they're tenacious, but don't expect them to win. All they're doing is delaying the inevitable unless we can get them some help. That's why they need volunteers from you and lend-lease from you once you are able to do it. I don't think you can do normal lend-lease, but when you support Spain's loyalists, you get decisions to send them rifles, and you get army experience or navy experience from it. It's randomly determined whether the rifles get through, in which case you get army XP, or they get intercepted at sea, in which case you get navy XP. It's not a proper lend-lease, but I don't think... Yeah, you don't have anything that makes proper lend-lease available sooner, so you just have to go that way. I do with the Lend-Lease Act, but then that would lock me out of going communist. I would have to do Limited Intervention Lend-Lease Act before I have any communism support. Right now I'm trying to get my communist revolutionary guy to start building communism support so I can get enough support for communism that I can do Union Representation Act and Democratic Socialism later, even once I don't have the guy anymore. Well, I need him for Union Representation Act, and then do Limited Intervention later, after that.
Padilla Rebellion second phase is about to end.
Yep, and you're going to get another phase of it. That one's probably going to be towards actual civil war.
Yeah. So I do have a very good boost on stability right now.
Cool. Gained some seats in Congress from my election, and I got the New Deal spirit. New deal is going earnest. Stabilize back up to 99%. And doing much of the damage of suspend the persecution. Well, I should have not done that focus yet. For anyone watching YouTube, and then I would be doing after WPA, at which point I'd go 99% stability, which enabled me to improve worker conditions in advance of when it's needed. You have to have less than 100% stability for it.
1 day left. And here we go. Alright. Now it's failed. What happens now? Real attention's very high. Minus 10%. Though with assertive church and rolling popularity, that's giving me 12.80% passive plus 1.40% weekly change, so I'm still gaining more stability than I lose. Still gaining more stability than I lose.
What are you talking about? Losing stability? Sorry, what happens with the next phase of the Cadillo? Does the next phase give you a weekly war support debuff? I mean, weekly stability debuff?
Caudal attention is very high. It gives me minus 10% passive, but I'm still gaining more stability.
Well, that's not a change to your stability. That's not like a ticking change. That's just you have a spirit that lowers your stability 10%. Once they rebel, you lose that spirit. It's not like there are things that affect your stability on a weekly basis, like the raids are doing. They increase your stability each week. And then there are things that are just fixed, like the Cadillo tensions. Although, if you look at your missions, you're probably taking towards a civil war at this point. I would check what it says with that.
Yeah.
So, what does it say for the mission now? The missions are like the ticking things. You should have a ticking mission for...
Nothing yet.
Hasn't said anything about a rebellion
yet? No.
And the civil war in Norway just began. Quisling is trying to turn Norway fascist. He'll invariably fail because he starts the civil war without taking enough time to build support. Lovely.
Dude owns 5 pieces of land and expects to win.
Sorry, what?
Nothing.
You were saying something, I missed it. About...
They own 5 pieces of land and expect to win.
5 pieces of land? Huh?
Over there in Norway.
5 provinces. I was confused. You're saying, yeah, they won't win. They never do because they always start their civil war too early. If they took the time to build up, they could definitely win. Sorry, I was looking because I just got a mission to build a munitions factory in Missouri. Just turned up the game speed a little. Oh, and then I finished the research. Lovely.
Yeah, usually when I play the game, speed's set to like high most of the time.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Just to generally reduce the weight.
Yeah, it makes sense to do a lot of times. Work in developing torpedo cruisers. A lot of my navy's gonna be based on those, probably. They can be either light or heavy cruisers, but rely mainly on torpedoes for armament, so probably just a ton of light ones. Anyhow, how much political power do you have saved up now, Core?
87.
87?
Oh, there's the Caudillo Rebellion. Remove Caudillo. Remove Caudillo. Tensions very high, which grants stability minus 10%. Gets event in general. Cedillo revolts. Okay, yeah, so this is the Civil War.
How long until that begins?
140 days.
Okay. And how long on your current focus?
9 days.
On the red shirts, I assume?
Yeah.
And then international struggles. So yeah, you'll be able to send for a few months volunteers to Spanish Civil War before your Civil War begins. Which won't be nearly enough to turn the tide, but it'll be able to stem the... Are you training any divisions, though? I forgot to ask.
No, I can't anyways. I have absolutely no logistics fulfillment. And when I mean none, I mean 0%.
Logistics. Do you mean equipment fulfillment? Logistics is something entirely different. That's like supply.
If I go to production, I have 62% production efficiency for my basic infantry equipment, though I can't really do much still because I can't make support equipment or anything right now.
Well, you can you can deploy divisions without full equipment. You can go to the little thing that looks like a tank, and you can click the little arrow to deploy divisions that aren't fully trained. They'll be green, but then you can exercise them up the rest of the way. That's what I've been doing to rapidly expand my National Guard.
Yeah, so I just do some divisions on.
So the way that would work is you would you would select a template to train, queue it up. You might not have all the equipment you need for it, but you can then, as long as it gets 20% equipment, it'll train up to 20%, then you can early deploy them. And the reason I'm saying is because you can send more volunteers if you have more divisions, even if some of those divisions aren't fully equipped. So, if you have any like templates that are just really small, training a bunch of those can be a good way to increase. Because how many divisions do you have right now?
How many divisions? 21.
21. Yeah, so if you got up to like 41, that would allow you to send an additional division. And actually, with international struggle, divisions required for same volunteers would be reduced by 60%. So that might, I don't know if that changes scaling, but
well, my send volunteers tension right now is plus 40%.
But yeah, but when you get international struggle, that will reduce it all the way down to negative 60. You'll be able to send volunteers immediately after the international struggle is completed.
So. Yeah, true.
So I was saying, it's probably a good idea to start like training more divisions, even if they're not equipped. And if you have any in the training queue that their training is stalled by lack of equipment, it's probably a good idea to just pre-deploy them and finish their training with exercises instead of having them sit in the queue and not do anything.
Yeah. I have one division training. I can't even train it anyways. I have no infantry equipment.
Well, you're producing some, right?
It says I definitely am, but it says I don't have enough to fulfill.
Hmm? Sorry, what'd you say?
The thing I had planned starts in, well, literally an hour, but...
Yeah, if you need to go soon, that's cool. I'm just trying to get, a little progress here on the save while we have the time, but I understand. I mean, you can always pick it up later today or on a future day, whatever you need to do,
Yeah,
man.
pretty much afterwards you can pick it back up,
Cool.
too.
I'll probably go and do work on my Rise of Nations Let's Play after this, after I've taken a little break to stretch and stuff. So
The red shirt just got completed through national struggle.
hmm.
Communist China joins the Comintern. That's good.
That means that they took the. Usually they don't do this, but they took the what is the Marxist orthodoxy path, which changes their country leader. Wang Ming isn't as good as Mao, but it allows him to join the Comintern and get Soviet economic aid, which removes recovery from the Long March. Otherwise,
It the Fourth International.
it takes a lot longer for them to make a full recovery without the Soviet aid.
We have the Fourth International, which is supporters of Trotsky's theories taking the lead. So, yeah, Trotsky's definitely taking power.
But yeah, because they join the Comintern, it will. It might get drawn into the Soviet Civil War, though. I'm not sure what'll happen if that'll force them to side with Stalin.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so they will make an earlier recovery from the Long March, but they might also very well end up stuck in the Soviet Civil War, which will be interesting. That'll be.
Oh yeah, I can assassinate the Cristero traders now.
Will that change your church spirit, like weaken or strengthen the church, or does it say?
Yeah, I can assassinate the Cristero traders now.
But what I'm asking is, how will that affect the Catholic Church? Will it make them weaker or stronger, or probably not stronger, but does it affect them directly?
No, it just gives me war support and army experience.
Yeah. Then you should probably do that because the war support will get you command power income. You might as well start getting that as soon as possible.
There. Assassinate the Cristero traders. Alright, I'm ready.
Oh, to unpause again, you are saying, or?
I'm ready to unpause.
Okay. Sorry, for a second I was confused if you meant like you were ready, like you had to, ready to leave, and I'm like, I understand that if that's the case. Doing a little bit with my Navy, but yeah, don't mind that. On pause. It's time to create the Farragut class A3. Greater reliability. Always good, since, especially with smaller destroyers, if the reliability is low, that a crit can easily wipe it out, wipe one of them out. I probably could use slightly better batteries than these. And batteries. I don't need these dedicated anti-air guns. Probably, it doesn't hurt. Cost maybe XP to get rid of. No. Sorry, I was just designing a new destroyer class.
Oh, well now the church has been weak and now I'm losing stability.
Yeah. Well, not losing it, you just have lower stability than before, that's all.
Yeah.
Why do I have ships operating in the Bering Sea? What in the name of... The Asiatic fleet does not fall in there. A little bit of stuff I was messing with regards to my Navy. It's constant struggle to not forget about that.
So this has taken a while, and since I have to leave soon, increase the speed.
Coming in?
I'm gonna increase the speed a bit.
Yeah, I turned it up to speed 3 a second ago. By the way, if you have the when you get the political power, you should be able to do anti-fascist raids again soon. It looks like. Doesn't seem you're doing them, and
yeah,
they're at over 10%. So If
Yeah.
if it does divide divisions along party popularity, then that will allow you to keep control of a little more of the army in the Civil War. If it's a long party popularity, it'll be something like a 6-1 divide in your favor. So, and Queensland lost his Civil War. Flip Norway.
Fascist raids. That is going to also take down my stability.
Temporarily, yeah, but you gain more back than you lose. It'll drop you to 26% stability, but it'll increase in the long run. You'll have more stability than if you hadn't done them. So.
Oh. Primisman Constantium. Pope plus excisation. Paul and the Mexicans. This isn't good. I just got another pop-up event.
What is it saying? Here, you can share screen. I'll take a look. Curious.
It's just like the last one. I can either replace weak church with a stirred church, get +5 stability but -10 factory output, or vice versa.
It's a choice to weaken or strengthen the church. Again, you should probably strengthen them because that'll improve your stability. And that, I mean, you might be assassinating the traitors because for the war support, but if you get the opportunity to just strengthen the church, I don't know. If you show me the event, I can see what the choices are. I'm curious if there's any benefit to picking one over the other besides strengthening or weakening the church. Like if one of them gives you political power or something.
They don't do anything. It's just the same exact thing, vice versa. Either stability or factory output, and if I do factory output, I'm weakening. If I get stability, I'm strengthening the church.
Yeah, you should strengthen them if you can. As long as that doesn't, I guess I should have. Oh well. I make sure the assassinate Cristero traitors thing doesn't cancel. I'll unpause and take a look because I'm curious.
No, I don't think it will. Yeah, no.
Still get it. And the extra stability is always welcome. You should have the sort of church spirit again, which helps your stability. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just formed the Office of Strategic Services. I'm starting my intel agency. So that I can spy on people mainly, but start getting gotta upgrade them. Eventually, what I'm hoping to do is to infiltrate civilian administrations for political power. Take a look. While I'm taking a look at your stream, if you want to pop over to the Navy tab, to the production queue, I'm curious what you're doing with your ships. Oh, you can't sign an MIO to your Navy yet? That's probably because you haven't unlocked your...
Yep.
If you go to your country screen and check your naval MIOs, It should be the little thing with the ship under research and production. If you left click on that, and it'll show you what you need to do to unlock your MIOs. Oh yeah, it's your reassess military budget. Military budget review focuses will eventually enable those guys. All right. The stories are still useful for getting Navy XP from exercises, but and you should be able to send. Oh, and if you open your deployment, your troop training screen real quick, because they'd want to show. Yeah, you got like. You got that guy in training. Geez, you really don't have anything for equipment. Open the Divisio di Infantry. I think you might have an issue with equipment priority. If you open the template, like the editing, and if you click on equipment, just want to make sure you like don't have things disabled. Oh, you have it all enabled. Weird. Weird. I guess you just need rifles. I am making some rifles and selling them. Do I have any on the market right now? Yeah, I have some M1 Garads. So if you want to buy those, I can knock down the price for you. I'll reduce it to a low price. So if you want to buy some M1 Garads, well, I give you a discount right now. That should be under international market. Buy equipment. And then if you look at the M1 Garads, I should have them on a discounted price. That's the little down arrow. Means I've lowered the price below where I normally would. And if you buy up those 480 rifles, you can just click the thing next to the number, the like thing with a plus and an arrow, and I'll select them all, so that I can clear them all out since they're all on discount. I don't want the AIs buying at that price. Well, yeah, I guess you only put one factory on purchase, but that's fine. Point is to get them off my market since I put them on discount.
Yeah. International struggle completes in 2 days.
Cool. So yeah, I'm selling you some discounted rifles. That'll help you train more infantry and supply what you've got for your Civil War. You'll probably need the equipment. So.
One more day. Brazil enters state of emergency.
Oh, this is the Cohen plan. This is a fake communist coup. There's not a real one. He's faking a communist coup in order to seize power. This is, if you look at it's called the Cohen plan. Although they get an actual communist coup if they fail to complete the mission. Execute the
Italy declared war on the Italian Union?
Yeah, Italy is now in a civil war. The communists rose up and tried. Oof. They actually were smart enough to take control of the north. Italy's flipping communist, it looks like. Or no, they took control of the south, not the north.
Now I got that. I can start a Lend-Lease. I can send volunteers now.
Oh yeah, you can send volunteers to both Italy and the Spanish Republic now that you finished that focus.
Total limit is 2 south. stop these guys from training.
Sorry, I was just listening to the unique music you get when Italy enters a civil war. It's called Bella Ciao. It's pretty good. It's a song that's supposed to represent the spirit of the Italian resistance to fascism. Yeah, you can send volunteers to the Republican Spanish side and to the Italian Union in their civil war. I would send volunteers to both civil wars because they'll both be helpful. If Italy wins their civil war quickly, the communist side, then they can send volunteers to the Republican Spanish side. So it's a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
You know how to send volunteers, I'm assuming?
Okay. Spain's now got I've sent Spain some volunteers.
Yeah, and I would definitely send the Italian Union, that is the communist side, in Italy's civil war, volunteers as well. Because, if you can get rid of Mussolini and the communists, they'll definitely help the Republicans in their civil war.
Yeah, one of you guys. Oh,
I'm curious how Sweden joined the Axis so earlier. Whew. Oh, Sweden took their communist. They have a communist path where they can join the Axis. They took it. Sweden actually just flipped communist, but they took. It's what is it? It's off of. Continue the second industrial revolution line more close to the lands organizations. Whatever. Straight down the capitalist beast down.
Good. I sent volunteers to both.
Cool. It'll take 2 weeks for them to arrive, but when they do, you can help fight those wars. Oh, you need a pause for a second?
What should I choose? What national focus should I choose?
Well, you're gonna want revolutionary class struggle, so you can get support Spain's loyalists, because that'll do even more to flip the Spanish Civil War in favor of the Republic. To turn the tide there. So after Revolutionary Class War, there's Spanish Civil War refugees, and then there's support Spain's loyalists.
Yeah, but I'm still in a constant worry of the Caudillo Rebellion.
I mean, yeah, but you can send support Spain's loyalists. What you send Lend-Lease to Republican Spain, even in the middle of your civil war. So that's good. And I'm sending you some discounted rifles, which are better than the ones you can produce. It looks like too. So that should help. Help you win, hopefully, your civil war. What?
2 divisions are heading down to Spain.
And some to Italy too, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, Revolutionary Class War, or Class Struggle, whatever, for your next focus is what I would suggest. Revolutionary Class War.
Oh, Italy already has most of their cities on fire. though. I don't think the Italian Union's gonna win, though.
No, they'll win. They control Rome. They control the south. They control all the army. Usually, they do win when they do, as long as they don't only. The only time they don't win is when they don't align either the south or the north, and they only control the area around Rome. They should be able to win. The Italian Union. They have like this. They should have given like debuffs to the fascists. I think there's like something they get when they align the south. I forget.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick them to train.
Southern farmlands. Oh no, they just get. Yeah, the fascist side will suffer damage to infrastructure and supply hubs. Fascist divisions will get damaged by attrition. So yeah, it might not look great if you look at the map, but the fascist logistics are crap thanks to their civil war, so they'll lose. Because the communists have sabotaged the fascist supply lines right down to nothing. They know the importance of supply. Shoot, did I run out of political power and fail a small lobbying effort? I might have. I was not looking at that. Oh well.
Italian Union will allow full. Okay.
Should be able to do agricultural adjustments regardless.
Yeah, looks like they're still. Looks like Spain's still holding the line.
Yeah, they're doing their best, but they need all the help they can get for absolute certain. So.
Stalin.
Especially since Sweden joined the Access, we don't want the Republicans to lose the Spanish Civil War.
So right now, are just our biggest threat in general as well, the Germans.
Well, yeah. Obviously, Hitler's gonna do his thing. He's gonna try and attack Austria because Austria won't accept Anschluss on the folks' path they've gone. And if if no one stops him from taking over Austria, then he'll go for Czechoslovakia, and then he'll try and bully Lithuania, and then he'll attack Poland, like historically happened. So, but he won't have the help of the Italians, because Mussolini's gonna get murdered. In fact, Mussolini is already losing very badly in the Italian Civil War. He's on the way out.
Yeah, they're getting crushed. Plus, I have a volunteer going over there too. Yeah, they're already taking down that island too, freely.
Yeah, that's Sicily in the south. But when your volunteers arrive, they can get some combat experience fighting, and you can help make sure that the communists win their civil war quicker. Because the sooner Mussolini's gone, the sooner the communists can send volunteers to help the Republican forces.
Yeah, it looks like they already encircled some troops.
They have a focus. It's called the Garibaldi Legion. That they can't do until after the Popular Front, which they can't do until after the Civil War is over.
Well, I think this Italian Union already runs in the first place because they just encircled. Because, well, they look to be encircling all of. The 2 divisions you sent to Spain have arrived. See what's going on here. Oh. Oh, boy. Oh, they're on a big losing streak right now.
Who are?
No, Republican.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the battles are probably red, but they probably take like 2 months to resolve. So they lose very slowly because of issues with supply and stuff and planning.
Yeah. Well, my volunteers are here. What time is it? Rabbits. 7. What these guys said.
Yeah, if you need to get going,
23 minutes left. Oh, 22 now. I say do a couple more days on this. See what's gonna happen here. So these volunteers, I can't tell if I can control them or if the Spanish control them.
Oh no, you control the volunteers when they arrive. It takes like 2 weeks for them to get there, but when they get there, you'll have to assign a general to them and everything. They're yours to control.
Right.
When do your volunteers arrive? You should have a pop-up on the top of your screen that tells you.
So I'll move these guys over here, then I'm gonna have to manually this. And they're both cavalry too against what? Them?
You sent cavalry over?
Yeah, 2 cavalry.
To the Spanish Civil War? What'd you send to Italy?
The 1 division. They arrived in Lazio. Where is Lazio?
Lazio? That should be around Rome. Probably either the naval base at Anzio or the naval base north of Rome.
Yeah, I see them.
Yeah, you're gonna want to probably like either march or strategically redeploy your divisions up to the front in both wars and have them. You're gonna want to make battle plans where you set a front line and then you set an offensive line and wait for your generals to make battle plans before they attack. Which I can show you, I guess, next time that we pick this up. But because your divisions will get bonuses to their attack and their breakthrough when they have planning, and they won't fight very well. Especially if these are like infantry and cavalry, they're not going to fight very well without planning. So you definitely need that, and you need a general and a field marshal assigned to the divisions as well. So it's going to all. You probably don't have that many field marshals. In fact, it's good that you maintain the loyalty of Calais, I think it is, because you probably need him as a field marshal in order to make sure all your divisions have field marshals. Anyways, yeah, if you share your, well, you're probably sharing screen. If you, let's see, take a look. Trying to look at your screen. There we go. Yeah, like, so your Spanish volunteers that you have selected right now, even though you're looking at Italy, you currently have the Spanish volunteers selected, and they're manually marching across the country. That'll take a long time. So you probably gonna want, first of all, if you're gonna want to, do you want to go up the western side like that, or do you want to like push along the main front near Madrid? Like, it's up to you. Or you could try and help near Terrio. But if...
Well, what I plan on doing is cutting off supply lines.
Well, that's going to be hard in the Spanish Civil War, because there aren't... there are these penalties that make... Hold on, I'm going to turn off this music. There are penalties that make it really slow. Like, the battles. But yeah, wherever you want to send them, if you're going to send them all the way to the west like that, you're going to want them to strategic redeploy, first of all. And second, those guys need to be under a field marshal. Right now, they're only under a general. You want them under both a general and a field marshal. The way you do that is you see the little thing at the bottom of the screen with the portraits and the plus sign?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to right-click to the thing to the left of the general. That will create an army group for them. No, right, you see that? To the left of it. There, you're going to right-click that. That'll create an army group that contains the general. And then you can assign a field marshal in charge to oversee the general. And he'll give additional bonuses. Calais is your best. Although, the other guy, Cardenas, isn't terrible either. But Calais is your best field marshal. So you probably want to use him. So if you'll click, he'll give half his stat bonuses to the divisions on top of what the general gives.
Great.
And you can give him offensive doctrine for even more attack, if you want. It'll also reduce organization loss while moving. I might not bother with those things right now. You could do charismatic to offset, but yeah, he is level 4. You might do one of those things later, but right now,
corpse rolls.
Well, that's only if you're going to make him a chief of the army, which probably he's not the best candidate. I don't know who you have available. But anyways, if you press the B button, it'll strategically redeploy this cavalry, because otherwise it'll take him like weeks to march all that distance. And now if you hover over the little railroad tracks on their unit card, like under army group, or you can hover over the divisions, but you see the little thing in the list in the upper left-hand corner? In the upper left-hand corner of your screen, if you hover over the railroad tracks there, it'll tell you 1 day and 19 hours to arrive. It would have been a lot longer if they weren't strategically redeploying. And when they get there, although you probably actually want them to just create the battle plans right now. So if you move the screen over to where they are going, see over there, if you zoom in on that area, if you click, you're going to want to create a front line first, and right click there to just create it in one province so that they're not trying to cover the whole front. And yeah, I forgot you had the field army group selected. That's going to create a little more clutter on the interface. Not that's a huge deal. But you can actually do it just for the army to make it a cleaner thing. If you delete that with the little trash can and left click on that. Yeah, and then just click on the portrait of the general instead of that guy. Just left click, and now you can do the same thing, but you'll only get one line instead of 2. It'll just make it a little easier to see what's going on. Yeah, and then you want to create an offensive line or a spearhead so that they'll actually make plans. So you left click on one of those, and then right click where you want them to try and push to in their first attack, which you can manually order the attack. You don't actually have to rely on the automation, but they need a plan like this.
Right here, look, like their main supply right here.
Well, that's just a railroad junction. They probably don't even have a supply hub there. Railroads don't carry supply themselves. Railroads are useful for strategic movement, but actual supply comes from supply hubs, which if you click...
here. I'll have to push here because it's 7:17, so I really gotta get going.
Alright, yeah, I'll show it to you later. You probably, because that province you're going to attack on is a mountain province anyway, so you probably want to go up through the hills to the east of it. I'll show you later. But anyways, yeah, I'll save it. Give me a sec, I'm going to save the game, and you can save if you want to copy too. I think it lets you do it. I'll show what I'm talking about later, because if you try and attack through the mounds, it's gonna not go well. But there's actually plains, not even hills, plains to the east, which would be an easier way to attack, and you can cut off the divisions in the mountains that way. Nearest supply hub is in Valladolid anyway. Oh no, there is one west of Salamanca. So if you want to cut off their supply, you do want that railroad direction. You were correct. There's a supply hub there. Looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because there's a bunch of railroad tracks
but you don't
going all through there.
But yeah, you don't want to attack through the mountains. You probably want those divisions to gather on the mountain province that's one to the northeast of where they're currently headed, and then draw an arrow from there. I'll show you later. I saved it, so I can actually save it one more time or do things. My own microing. On YouTube. Check all this stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't change. I'll just save in case he did something after I saved it. Anyways, peace, man. Enjoy whatever you're headed off to. Those on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the